I don't think the solutions to our problems are to be found at either extreme, the right or the left. I think we'll find those solutions in the same place we always have, at that place where we can all unify and work in cooperation with one another. And that's why I'm running for office, because I believe in this country. And I believe in the values we've always stood for, values like freedom and equality and making sure that people can catch a break. I think my party, the Democratic Party, does a better job of representing those values than our opposition. But if you are a member of that opposing party, I want you to know that I'm running to represent you too. Because we are all Americans. We are all in this together. And I believe in you, just like I believe in the flag and the anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, and especially those beautiful closing words of the pledge that we all used to say at the start of every school day: liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Now I'll be happy to take your questions. Yes.
Thank you for being here.
It's been my pleasure.
I wanted to ask about a group of people you didn't mention in your remarks just now.
All right.
What is your position on the transgender community and trans equality?
I'm so glad you asked that question. You're right. I didn't mention the trans community specifically in my talk, and that is an oversight on my part. I don't want that taken as some kind of a sign that I don't care about the trans community or that I'm avoiding the subject. Quite the opposite. As I said only a moment ago, I believe, and it's not just words, trust me, I truly, deep down in my bones, believe it. We need to be a country with liberty and justice for all. And all means everybody, including people I didn't mention, including trans people. I know it's been kind of a hot button issue for a while. I know it stirs up all sorts of strong feelings on all sides of the debate, but I just want to say this. Trans people are people too, and they deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, and that's why I strongly believe that trans people are absolutely entitled to some of the same rights as everyone else. Yes.
What's your favorite song?
Good question. Accidental Racist. Love me some Brad Paisley. He's so funny. Yes, was there something else?
I just wanted to go back to the trans issue for a second, if that's okay.
Sure.
You said you believe trans people deserve kindness and respect.
Absolutely.
But then I'm pretty sure you also said that you believe trans people are entitled to some of the same rights as everyone else.
So what's your question?
Why not say that trans people are entitled to all of the same rights as everyone else?
I'm glad you asked that, because the last thing I would want anyone to think is that I don't support trans rights. Okay? I support trans rights. I'm an ally. But as I think we all know, just from navigating our own lives, rights are complicated things sometimes, aren't they? And maybe there are situations where, let's say, for example, a group of women, cis women, don't want to share a private space, a locker room, perhaps, with trans women because, rightly or wrongly on their part, they perceive trans women to be male, and they want to preserve their locker room as a females-only space. In situations like that, I think it's important to listen to all sides and try to make the best decision based on everyone's interests, while always remaining sensitive to the needs of the trans community. Yes, you right here.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say it's got to be a three-way tie between The Blind Side, The Help, and Green Book. Oh, and Get Out. Love that one. Four-way tie. Okay, you've got another one? Go ahead.
So basically what you're saying is that the rights of an individual are limited by whether or not a majority of people in a given setting agree to allow them to exercise their rights?
When did I say that?
When you said that the hypothetical cis women wouldn't be agreeable to having a hypothetical trans woman in their hypothetical locker room?
I was just speaking hypothetically.
Right, but you said it in response to my question about you believing trans people are only entitled to some of the same rights as other people.
Here's what I believe.
Okay.
All that stuff in the Constitution about life, liberty, In the pursuit of happiness.
That's in the Declaration of Independence, but I'm with you.
I believe it applies to trans people just the same as it does to cis people. Trans people not only are our fellow human beings, they are our fellow citizens. They are just as American as any other American, and they deserve the same shot at the American dream as anyone else. They deserve elected representatives who will fight for them to get that shot. Let me share a personal story. There was a classmate of mine in college. We got to be pretty good friends, but then we graduated and moved on away from each other. We lost touch. Just a few years ago, we found each other again on Facebook and became Facebook friends. And a little while after that, I noticed that my old friend had put up a post announcing that they were coming out as trans, and they were transitioning, and they were wanting to be referred to using feminine pronouns. I checked the comments, which you're never supposed to do. I know. And there was some support, but also some really ugly things that people had said. And this was after my political career had started. I had run for election already, unsuccessfully. I knew I wanted to run again. I knew it was better for my own selfish interests, safe, to just stay out of it. But the way my old friend was being treated by the people leaving these nasty comments was wrong. And I knew it. My mother and father raised me to be tolerant of every kind of person except one, a bully. So in that moment, I put my own interests to the side. I said to myself, consequences be damned. And I liked my old friend's transition announcement because when future generations look back on this era of our history, I want there to be a record that I was on the right side.
Did that even really happen?
Of course it really happened.
You didn't leave a comment?
No, because it wasn't about what I had to say. It was about letting my friend know that I supported her.
You just dropped a like, not a heart or that like caring smiley.
I don't know how to do that.
You just do a long press. Wait, were you on your phone?
I think I was on my laptop.
So on your phone, you just do a long press on the like button and it brings up a little row with the other options. And on your laptop, I think you just hover.
That's right. You hover your cursor over the like button.
Yeah, you hover over the like button and that gives you the options to choose from.
Now I'll know for next time.
Leave a comment next time too.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be very much. It can be as simple as congratulations or a supportive meme or something.
I think I can handle that. All right. Any other questions? Right here.
Yeah, what's your plan to make sure Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid remain solvent without allowing the deficit to continue to skyrocket?
An economic question, thank Christ. My plan for that is very simple, my friend. It's a little thing I like to call making the wealthy pay their rightful share. Yeah. And listen. It's not about punishing wealth. That's what a lot of my Republican friends like to say, but that's not the truth, and most of them know that's not the truth. It's not about punishing wealth. It's about recognizing that a relatively small number of people in this country have been able to prosper enormously thanks to the opportunities they have been afforded and the hard work of a lot of people who don't get compensated nearly as well as those people at the very top. And it's about saying to those very fortunate few, time to pay it back. Not all of it. My plan, you can go on my website and see for yourself. My plan won't tax anybody out of their fortune. It's not about turning rich people into poor people or any of those other fear-mongering talking points you hear about the out-of-control tax and spend Democrats. It's about what's right. If your personal net worth can be calculated in the billions and you're paying less in taxes every year than an auto worker or a teacher or a small business owner, that's not right. Yes. Oh, God.
Speaking of what's right.
Uh-huh.
While you were talking just now, myself and the other women in this row took a vote amongst ourselves, and we decided we don't want the man on the end of our road down there to sit with us. So can you have security escort him to another seat, please?
What the fuck?
Silence, unwanted man.
Whoa. Okay. No, we're not going to do that.
Why not? We all decided that we would like to preserve this row of seating as a women-only space.
You can't do that.
But why not?
Because that's discrimination.
And discrimination is wrong.
Discrimination is wrong, yes.
Why is discrimination wrong when we want to do it to that asshole at the end of the row?
Hey, come on.
It's nothing personal, sir, but it's okay when the hypothetical cis women in the locker room, in your example, want to discriminate against a trans woman.
It's not the same thing. In the locker room example, it's an issue of privacy and safety. Like I said, whether they're right or wrong to feel that way, some women, cis women, feel threatened by the presence of trans women in their spaces.
Because they don't think that trans women are women.
Some people feel that way. Personally, I don't. I think trans women are women, and trans men are men, and they deserve to be treated and respected as such.
Except when they need to shower and change clothes at the gym.
I could go back and forth with you on this all night, but my time is limited, and I think we still have some more questions. Do we have any more? Yes, you. Thank God. Yes, what's your question?
Do you support raising the federal minimum wage?
I do. Yes, I do. See, that's something that would benefit people of every kind. Cis, trans, gay, straight. Everybody needs money. And I want to work to put more money into the pockets of Americans who need it the most, regardless of what gender they were assigned at birth and whether or not they still identify as that gender.
How high would you raise the minimum wage?
How high do you want it? What, 15 bucks an hour? 20? Just tell me, you got it, whatever you want. Hey, different topic, but you know what else? Fuck ICE.
Yeah, abolish ICE!
Let's not get carried away. Any other questions?
That man is still sitting in our row.
What is your problem?
I'd like him removed, please. He's threatening our safety.
How?
It's okay. Let me handle this. How?
He's a man. His presence is inherently threatening.
You're making a negative assumption about him based on his gender. That sort of dehumanizing language isn't okay.
But I don't believe he's human. Why should I have to humor his pathetic fantasy that he's human when I don't think it's true? Stop imposing his delusion on me.
I'm just as human as you are.
Bro, I'm just making a point. Get with the fucking program.
Listen, I don't know how many times I need to say it. I support trans people. You can trust, as a trans person, that I will have your back.
I'm not a trans person.
You're not a trans person? Then why are you so hung up on the trans rights issue?
Because I believe in human rights for everybody. Isn't that what you believe?
Yes.
Is it?
What do you want from me?
I want you to stop equivocating. Stop worrying about how it might affect your poll numbers with people who aren't going to fucking vote for you anyway, and take a strong moral stand. I want you to say trans rights are human rights without qualification and mean it.
Trans rights are important and should be.
Don't say it. Trans rights are human rights. Say it.
Trans rights.
Say it, you fucking coward.
Trans rights are human rights.
I don't think trans women should be allowed to play women's sports, though.
I agree, it's an issue of fairness.
God damn it, dude.
Okay, I've indulged this long enough. Security, get her out of here, please.
Hey, let go of me. You're not enlightened. You're just another pandering moderate.
You know who gets things done better than an enlightened person? An elected one. Yes, all right. Thank you. I want everybody to know that I support equal rights for most of you and as many rights for trans people as the rest of you are comfortable with.
Trans rights are human rights.
I hope I can count on your vote.